into another Straight to the Point podcast. And here with your girl Chelsea, your boy Vince over here. And today we have a special guest, Miss Darla.
Hello.
Go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone, Miss Darla.
I'm Darla. I'm a vegan chef. I've been cooking for about 10 years, and I've been focusing on vegan food for about 2, and I just kind of wanted to come and talk about that and how it's kind of changing our community and how we feed our kids and taking care of ourselves.
Right.
It's pretty interesting because, you know, our host over here, he is actually vegetarian trying to what is it? Transition, that's the word I'm looking for, over into pure vegan. So, I mean, I think this would be a great session for you two.
Right. It's just hard, you know. You gotta have somebody that can really cook it and stay on it, cause I move too much. I can't stay on it like I want to. So I need somebody that can act. If I had somebody that did it for me or meal prep for me, it'd be different. But
do you find that it's hard to find things when you go out, or is it just that you?
Nah, that's easier. When I go out, it's easier when I go out. But if I'm at home,
eating junk food and snacks.
That's it. Messing up. Yeah. Messing up for real.
Okay. But I feel like you have to kind of have a love of vegetables too before you start, because a lot of things you're gonna make include vegetables. If you're only eating the things that are processed at the store, you're pretty much doing the same thing you were doing before. Because anything that's sitting on the shelf for longer than a week has to have preservatives in it.
Exactly.
So that's one of the things you have to take note of. And transitioning is easier when you find things that are similar to what you used to make before.
Okay.
Right.
And it's not that I didn't love meat; it's that I wanted to change my lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the tips that I used when I was transitioning. And my sister actually has been vegan longer than I have. And one of the things she did was take me different places, and that gives you ideas too about what you could do as a meal and meal prepping as well.
Okay. So what? Okay, so you say just wanting to live a healthier lifestyle is what made you choose to go vegan and stuff like that.
Yeah, but as I transitioned through, I've kind of been vegan for about 2 years. So as I transitioned, I think it more became like you become more sensitive to things like animals. Like I actually got a dog. So that I wasn't gonna get a dog before.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't, and I understand like that it is pain to them. They're trapped. It's like you put somebody in prison for the value of what they can give you.
Exactly.
So
I never thought of it that way, but
it
makes sense.
Yeah, and when we eat animals, they eat what we're supposed to be eating.
Exactly. Yes.
So we're really not eating because we're supposed to eat meat. We're just eating it because we're saying, hey, we're getting the protein from it. But they eat plants.
All you gotta
protein.
do is eat what they eat and you're getting the protein.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So my question: How did you transition? Like, how did you start your transition?
I actually, like I said, my sister used to take me to a lot of restaurants. Like I know a lot of restaurants in Atlanta that are actually vegan. There's not a lot of places in more rural areas, which is why I did start cooking, because I noticed that there was nowhere around me. There's like one place that offers an Impossible Burger, and besides that, you really kind of have to go to another city to find vegan foods. But I think it was August 2017, and I didn't want to do meat no more.
Got it.
So I did cold turkey, but I did try different things before, and cold turkey might not work for everybody because it is overwhelming. It's like you have to completely haul your whole refrigerator of things, or I know some people we ate everything in the fridge before we transitioned. But yeah, that's pretty much.
That's when I was on deployment. It was August 2017. I just came home for the family reunion we had. It was September 1st through the 3rd, and I did it 2 days before I came home. So that's exactly what I do. I went vegetarian.
What made you decide to do it?
Just want to be healthier. Yeah, I just seeing the way they do the animals before they kill them and all that. It just.
And he watched that documentary on Netflix.
I did not watch the documentary.
I knew it was horrible. I was like, I can't keep eating that shit because it's just nasty.
I did it for about 2 months after I watched that documentary on Facebook. On Netflix, and when they cut that cow open, all that pus or whatever.
Yeah,
I went for 2 months.
Like pork and milk, I had been stopped. But once I seen that, I said, oh, that's it. I'm done with the meat. Period. I just stopped. I just doing the vegetarian thing ever since then.
Yeah, I have never watched the documentary, but as Black people, we're healthier than our Caucasian counterparts. But the thing that's tearing us down is we're still in a traditional phase of still eating the things that we ate when we were slaves. Mm-hmm. And these things were just scraps passed down to us because, we were considered a slave. And these are the same things that are killing us. So they're killing our older family members, and we're kind of saying, oh, it's hereditary, and let me take medicine for it. But the medicine, you shouldn't take something for a period of time and it never has a result.
Yep. Right.
So it's kind of food is your medicine, pretty much.
Well, her and Talik will be, have a deep conversation over this.
Yeah,
yes.
Talik would love that.
Are you from Carter's? Where are you from?
I'm originally from Haiti, but I moved to Connecticut when I was a baby, and then we moved to Georgia when I was around 10, and Cartersville when I was 11.
Okay.
So I lived in Cartersville from about 11 to 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So as a chef, do you only cook vegan, or do you cook, for other people, do you still cook?
I just prefer not to touch the meat, so yeah, just vegan foods.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. That's one of the things I like too, because when you cook a vegan meal, even if it's undercooked, you're not going to get sick. It's not considered meat. So I'm not saying to undercook what you cook when it's vegan, but meats tend to have, chemicals in them now, and preservatives as well, and hormones. So those are things you cannot remove from the meat once you get it. Now, if you do get meat from like a farmer, it might be different. But my sister went to Haiti, and the cows are thin. The chickens are thin. Their cows and chickens don't look like ours.
Yeah, because they're not shot up with all these steroids and stuff.
Yeah.
So, crap, I forgot what I was about to say.
Well.
Oh, that's what I was about to say. I got it. Is it hard for you to find, because with you being a chef, is it hard for you to find a job, doing just a vegan, or do they be like, all right, we might need you to do XYZ from time to time?
Yeah, I was approached by somebody that was trying to get me to work on a food truck, but she also had, animal food. And she's like, well, would you want to cook them? And I was like, it's you can't really cook both things in the same vicinity, because you're still kind of infusing meat into the other thing, so it doesn't make it vegan anymore.
Exactly.
So what made you want to even be a chef?
I've always loved cooking.
Okay.
I like good food. I like food, and it has to be good. So the only way I can control that is if I make it myself.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
He came home one day. I saw my friend on Facebook eating at this place called Slutty Vegan.
Yes.
And I was like, what in the world is Slutty Vegan? Then he came home, man, I went to Slutty Vegan the other day.
Yeah.
And then my cousin Talik got on and was like, man, I'm trying to go to Slutty Vegan. So then one day we was all just sitting at my house, and everybody was like, let's ride to Slutty Vegan. And we went out there and sat in that line for about an hour, 30 minutes. Yeah, but it was good.
I went before she had the restaurant, and I was there for 4 hours. But I feel like in itself is an experience, because we were talking to people in line. We started talking about veganism. We started talking about Dr. Sebi. It became a community in that 4 hours, and the
time went by faster.
I feel like that's also a way you can build a connection with other people. Yeah. And if you're transitioning and you have questions, if that was a relationship you built, they can answer some of the questions for you. Also, getting to know people that are plant-based, or following pages, and they'll tell you different ways. If you wanted to follow the Dr. Sebi routine, hashtag on Instagram, and you'll find recipes. There's actually I think her name is Alkaline Vegan Mommy, and she makes almost everything alkaline vegan. She'll even show you how her kids and between their weight and stuff has transitioned, and her, and you can see a difference. I'm not alkaline based yet though, but my sister is.
Okay.
So, and speaking of kids, I don't know if you have kids, but if you do you try to make them go vegan, or do you just let them do whatever they like? I'm vegetarian, but I don't force my kids to be vegetarian.
I don't want to force my kids, because I raise my kids kind of different. I want my kids to have free will. There's certain things in parenting that we're taught that don't work for the next generation.
Right.
So I give them the free will to pick that, but when I cook dinner, you're eating what I make.
Right.
Exactly. Much. I'm not making different meals for people. I'm not touching meat. So I do keep vegan things in the house, but that option is available for them if they're out there. My youngest is 6, so he's like, Mom, I want to be vegan when I'm home, but when I go to school, I eat meat.
Yeah.
So,
see, my 9-year-old, we went to Golden Corral, and he was like, I don't want anything meat. I just want vegetables.
Cool.
And like he'll come to me like some days he'll eat like a hot dog or something. Maybe like I'm not eating meat. I just want the vegetables. Like, and I'm like, what changed? You know what I mean? Like, what made you decide that? But it's just funny. And then my neighbor up the street, she's pregnant and she's trying to transition. I don't know why I keep wanting to say transgender. But transition over too, and she was like buying like the chicken nuggets and stuff like that for her kids, and she was like people was telling her not to buy the box ones because of the stuff that's in them, and she was like it says on the box that it doesn't have them. I was like, but I mean that don't mean they don't.
If it's sitting on the shelf,
it has them in it. Yes.
There's no way you're gonna make it last if it doesn't. It's not in the fridge or. Also, when you're picking things out to transition, you kind of have to, it's like a hit or miss. So you got to see what works for you or what you like that tastes better. Like, I know specific brands when I go to the store and I won't buy another brand because I've tried it, and you got to be creative. I think that we're stuck in not being creative and like, oh, if I don't know how to cook that or if I don't know how to make it work, it might not taste right the first time. You might have to tweak some things. The same thing you did when you learned how to cook.
Exactly.
And in terms of kids, like, when you show your kids that you're doing something different, they're kind of gonna follow along too.
Right.
And one thing, like when my daughter was growing up, I kind of was like, you have to eat this and you have to eat that. If your kids don't want to eat something, don't make them. Yeah. There's a reason. It might not adapt to them. It might not be something they like. Like, it might not be for their diet. So if my kids say I don't want something, I'm fine with that. I mean, you're gonna eat what I make, but you know. I still want you to be eating a certain amount. Like, my 6-year-old won't eat that much. So I've adapted his, whatever he eats to balance out his diet.
Right.
See, my 4-year-old, he loves meat. Like, he don't touch, he'll eat all his meat before he touch anything else on his plate. But he loves salad.
Yeah.
So, like, I try to incorporate a little bit of salad whenever, like, if I go to Zaxby's and he's like, I want chicken tenders, I get me a salad, that way you can have some salad.
Yeah.
And we went out to eat at Longhorn with him and his family, and his girlfriend was like, did you know he loves salad? And I was like, yeah. His dad was like, he don't like salad. I was like, yeah, he does.
And if you did want to have your children transition, you can look at the things that they do, like you said, salad. Just try making him different types of salad and see if he adapts to that. Maybe add a little bit less meat. Or if you're transitioning, also cutting out certain things will help you. Like, let's say I'm going to do beef first, then I'm going to move to chicken, then I'll just incorporate fish. You don't have to just cold turkey because that's how you transition.
Right.
See, that's how when I did do it for the 2 months, that's what I did. I cut out all pork, beef, whatever, and I just did chicken and, like, fish.
Yeah.
And then sooner or later, I just went down to just the fish.
Okay.
And then I was like, all right. I went down to just the vegetables and fruits and stuff, and then I came back and I was like, what y'all eating look good. I haven't been able to do it again since.
Man, I don't know how you went back. It hurt when I tried it. I tried it. I had lost a bet, and I tried that Taco Bell. Oh my God, I almost died, man. I
had cut out beef for a few years, even before I went vegan, because it was just like on my stomach. You could tell it's not made for you. Even black people are the most lactose intolerant.
Yep.
And that's how you can see how people are closest to black people by the, there's Asians, Spanish people, different cultures. The more lactose intolerant they are, the closer they are to being black. We're very lactose intolerant.
Yes.
Milk was not made for us.
That's what's up. So do you meal prep for people?
I do meal prep.
Yeah.
I do make meals. I have a menu on my Instagram. My Instagram is LA_Lori. And I offer meals there. I can make things, I can adjust things and add vegetables if that's what you prefer. But a lot of them are just the vegan things that I find in the store. Right. And that in itself is a little bit of a challenge. But I'm a very creative person, so I like that. Like, I have to find different things at different places. Like, we just now got there's a Beyond sausage and a Beyond burger, and the Publix near me just now got it. So that's why I did want to introduce that to rural areas, because it's not available. Like, once there's one thing, like, I follow the page on Facebook, once there's one thing in Douglasville that's vegan, you're not going to find it. Because a lot of people are transitioning and it's not being offered everywhere, so you kind of have to stock up once you find it.
Have you ever thought about maybe like teaching like classes on how to make vegan foods?
Yeah, I would definitely love to do that. I
That
love
would be
to
dope.
teach. Yeah.
Cause like me, like I said, I don't have somebody that can do that for me. So, and I don't know how to do it. So it's just like when I'm home, it's like, man, whatever. I just stick to being vegetarian because I don't have nobody to do it. And I just don't have the time unless, you know what I'm saying, unless I really know. Like if I knew, it'd be easy. I could just, if I don't have the time to sit there and okay, do this. I just don't have the time for that. So
That's definitely a great idea. And with that, I can also introduce like the foods that I do like that are vegan. Like there's some chicken nuggets. My son will eat those before he eats regular chicken nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
Like they taste great.
Yep.
But
they some other day.
I'm gonna have to go in the store and find this.
Kroger got a big section.
Yeah, Kroger actually had a separate section at one time, and then some of the Krogers have remodeled, so they're within the aisle. If you look up on the aisle, it'll say healthy living or living naturally,
Yep.
and that specific section has either all organic foods or includes vegan foods.
Yep.
And within the freezer alone, they have one part. My Kroger has one part in the fruit and vegetable section with the vegan foods, and then there's a frozen part, and within the aisles you can find vegan foods as well.
Yep.
A lot of things you think that aren't vegan, you can look up and they are, like Worcestershire sauce. If you get a specific brand, it has anchovies in it, but the Kroger version is vegan.
Yep.
As long as you read one thing I have learned is I've become a reader of my label. Like, I need to know how much sodium it has in it, because sodium is another thing. Even if you're eating vegan foods and it has a lot of sodium in it, sodium doesn't add calories, but it will raise your blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be mindful of those things, how much sodium and how much sugar are in certain things that you're eating, because, like, even Cokes and stuff like that have a lot of sugar in them.
Yep.
So, when you read your label, it's going to tell you what's in there.
I learned a lot today.
So, what about sweets? Do you make like vegan sweets?
I don't really make vegan sweets.
Yeah.
I'm trying to kind of transition out of sweets, but there are things out there like Oreos are vegan, Nutter Butters are vegan. Yes.
That's my favorite.
Yes, Nutter Butters are vegan.
I'm on now.
I know, right?
You know, there's always a way to pretty much. My sister used to say veganize something. So yeah, I don't really make a lot of desserts, but if you can go follow pages, there are places that make desserts. I do make a sweet potato biscuit that is delicious.
Why you didn't bring any today? You want to come up here and talk about it, but don't want to bring us nothing?
I'll have to come back and I'll bring some food and we'll have to try it out.
Yes,
yeah.
that'd be good.
So what would you give people like me or anybody else that's a beginner trying to do vegan?
I'm a beginner.
What kind of meals would you say would be the easiest to start with?
Vegetables. If you can find, they're called mock meats. Whatever it's copying a meat.
Right.
The Beyond Burger is delicious. You can actually cook it on the grill.
Yeah, that's what Talik eats.
Yeah,
really?
You can make it on the grill. I make meatballs with it. I defrost it and I'll add like breadcrumbs and some seasonings, and I'll make meatballs with it. That's how I make my spaghetti and meatballs.
We're gonna have some. What's it called?
The Beyond Burger.
Beyond Burger spaghetti today, honey.
One thing is mock meats tend to be a little bit higher, but when you're shopping for food, I know we say like, oh, it's so expensive to be vegan or it's so expensive to eat healthy, but it's expensive to go to the doctor.
Right. Right.
Surgery is expensive. Buying medicine every week.
See a lot of
When you retire and you're on a set budget and you're having to buy medicine, you could have ate your medicine.
That's
right.
true.
Right.
So yeah, that is one thing to be aware of, that the mock meats do tend to be more expensive. So that's why when I make meals at home, I'll substitute vegetables for them. Your vegetable section is your best friend. It's cheaper. There's things that you can make there that mock meat actually, like mushrooms. Mushrooms are the best thing you can add to your food if you want to mock a meat.
I love mushrooms.
Yeah, you when I make if I'm gonna make like a pasta and I want to substitute almost like a meat in there, but I don't want to use a mock meat, I'll use mushrooms. Walnuts. You can actually soak walnuts and cut them up, and it resembles ground meat. Tastes just as good. Yeah.
Look, his eyes.
Okay.
Cashews. I use cashews. I'll soak them and blend them, and they make almost like a cheese sauce. Yeah.
I'm gonna be calling you before I cook every day. I'm be like, look,
What'd you say?
what'd you say I need to do?
Toast.
Oh yeah, you're vegan, aren't you?
French toast, you can blend bananas, and that could be the substitute for the eggs.
Yeah, you can make.
It's a slight hint of banana, but it tastes.
Yeah, it tastes. I like banana. Like I make shakes sometimes. I feel like if you add a banana to something, you pretty much substitute your sugar. Especially if it's like a ripe banana.
Right.
The sugar is gonna be added in there through the banana. So yeah, you can do things like that. Like I've made a date ice cream before. Dates have a lot of a very high sweetness in them, so they're good for desserts. Me and my sister had a vegan Thanksgiving about 2 years ago, and she made a pecan pie with dates.
Dates crazy.
Yeah.
They had when I was overseas in Dubai, they had a date store,
Mm-hmm.
and man, they had all kind of dates, and it was crazy the amount, like
Really?
different things they do. And it was crazy
It's
in there.
also been made into a sugar too. If you're alkaline, that's pretty much the sugar that you use when you are. And the alkaline also has a list from Dr. Sebi, but alkaline removes any acidity within your body, and acidity is what causes cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So you're basically clearing out all the things that could give you diseases or keep diseases in your body.
Right.
Look at that.
So for the African Americans, the ones that they just can't get enough of that barbecue lifestyle, what kind of vegan foods would you substitute for like barbecue food?
Whenever we've barbecued, I like corn. I do grilled corn. I do the burger.
Right.
The Beyond sausage tastes just like a sausage. Tastes just like a bratwurst. They have a hot Italian version and an original version. Those go well on the grill too. I make jalapeno poppers with the Beyond sausage.
Mm-hmm.
So you got, like I said, creativity gets you a long way. There's vegan cream cheeses. You won't be missing out. You can make a potato salad without eggs. There's also vegan mayos. Mayo is a very good vegan mayo. It's actually pretty much out of stock a lot of places because it's very popular. But those things, I've made potato salad before without any eggs.
Have you ever been to Soul Vegetarian?
I have not.
Oh
I heard about
my
that
God,
place.
I haven't either, and I got to go.
Yeah. I want to go.
They said that place is.
Yeah, I just saw a recipe where he was making, I believe, their mac and cheese on what was it? YouTube.
Yep, that's what I said. I seen that YouTube video.
But I recently went to Go. Is it Go Vegan? Yeah, I think it's Go Vegan because they used to be called something else, but they just changed their name, and they're black owned.
Mm-hmm.
Their chicken sandwich.
I'm gonna put a vegan restaurant in Cartersville. Come from
they're black owned, so you could. That's another thing. I want to support black owned businesses. So a lot of the businesses around here that are in Atlanta that are vegan are black owned, including Viva La Vegan. Have you been there?
I've heard of it.
Viva La Vegan is, oh my God, they have a.
Let's go get us some vegan today.
If I lived in Atlanta, I think it'd be easier. It's so.
It's so many places you can go around the corner.
Easier.
Yeah.
Here it's just like.
Viva La Vegan, you'll probably pass it because it looks like a hole in the wall. There's a little corner store on the side.
Kind of like Slutty Vegan.
Well, Slutty Vegan is a little more, a little nicer than that. And
that's all vegan.
Them patties.
Is that the Beyond sausages? Yeah. See, they look just like
crazy.
They taste just like a sausage.
Put it on the camera. Let the camera see.
That's crazy, yo.
They look good. Them patties thick too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Y'all want to cook out this?
Viva La Vegan.
You buy all that here locally at Kroger or Publix.
Okay. Yeah. Viva La Vegan is actually black owned, and they have a taco egg roll. Oh my God! And it's got like a mock meat in there, and it's got cheese in it, like a vegan cheese as well. It's delicious. But they have other things too.
I'm gonna have to check this out.
We going to Atlanta today.
That's why reason I asked about the sweets, because there's a sweets vegan place in Atlanta as well.
Yeah, there is.
Something Holic.
There's a Freebirds Bakery too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's vegan.
It's something Holic, Sweetsaholic or something, but it's vegan. And man, they said that's.
Is it Cinnaholic?
Cinnaholic.
Yeah.
That's it. Cinnaholic.
They got Cinnabons in there.
Yeah, there's actually.
I love the Cinnabon.
On Marietta Square, they have a farmer's market, I think, at the beginning of the month, and there's a lot of vegan places that are featured there. There's actually a lady that had some cookies there that she makes that are vegan, and they look.
That's crazy. Do you know?
No meat today.
Do you know Emmy Henry? Cartersville, she does vegan stuff as well.
Oh,
She got a business started in Cartersville.
Okay, cool.
She does a lot of vegan. She does like videos on YouTube. She meal preps and stuff like that. So yeah.
Okay, I'll have to look her up.
Yeah, y'all need to link up. That would be dope. That would be real dope.
Rooted in the loop.
Rooted in the loop. Yep. And y'all put something together in Cartersville like a one day.
I did want to do like a vegan brunch
through and you know what I'm saying?
That would be dope. Like y'all two come together and do something.
Talib, because Talib crazy with the fruits. He be
the dragon
fruit stuff with. Oh man, hair on it and everything. I don't know.
He said hair on it.
He real knowledgeable about it as well. So y'all three come together, y'all could make a good event.
I follow this guy. His name is Official Gray Music. He's a vegan and he goes to a lot of different places and does like tours for vegan food. But I was about to connect something to it and I completely lost my train of thought.
I do it all the time on here. I start incorporating interviews that we already did.
Plant-based dripping.
That's plant-based dripping. Yeah, he's very into vegan foods and stuff like that.
We gonna come together. We finna put together a vegan event.
Yeah, that would be dope.
Definitely,
yeah,
I'll be here. I would love that. Yeah.
Get a couple vegan.
Well, I mean, you're gonna have to be there because you're gonna
get the help. Yeah. You gotta get that thing.
Get Jody out there.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, we can put him on the grill.
Gotta get him out there. That's great. So, I heard y'all talking about it when I walked in earlier. What's something that you do to help with the protein?
Nobody's ever been to the hospital for protein deficiency.
Right.
So we kind of just put that in our head that we need it. And like I said, when people, like, I'm not trying to be argumentative with anybody because I'm not judging anybody's lifestyle. I've eaten people that are eating meat. You know what I mean? But when they say stuff like, I don't know where I'm going to get my protein from, were you measuring your protein before?
Exactly.
Right.
The only thing is, when I first transitioned, it makes you a little bit sleepy because your body's still trying to get adjusted to it. But once you transition, you're fine. Yeah. Like, you can also take supplements for that, which are like B12 vitamins, or eat foods that do enhance your energy.
You know, where gorillas get their protein from.
Yeah. They eat in the forest.
Where the wolves get their protein from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they get their stuff.
They live in a forest.
And, you know, so
you're not always gonna catch meat in the forest. And if they ate all the meat that was in the forest, they wouldn't have cohabitants.
Yeah.
Speaking facts. I like it. Hey, that's what we need. So what kind of changes have you seen in yourself since you've been vegan?
My blood pressure went down. I've always been chunky, but I got, my weight went down. Just even going to the bathroom is different. Like, it's a lot easier. Like, I remember I saw this thing that said vegan starter pack, and one of the things was toilet paper. You're going to go to the bathroom a lot easier. It's not going to be the same because meat kind of sits, if you think about it, when you're eating meat, it's going to sit in your gut, and it's dead meat already. So it's sitting in your gut and it's rotting even further. And that's what gives us digestational problems. And like when I like I said before, I had cut out beef, and whenever I would have beef, like it would wreak havoc on my stomach. Like it's not made for us. Yep. We're the only animal that drinks milk from another animal.
Right. Yeah, I cut that out a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, I don't like milk.
I never really liked milk either.
Yeah, milk makes me very nauseous. That's the only time I have milk is in my cereal. I tried like when I was pregnant and stuff to try to drink the what's the little God, I can't even think of the name of.
The little blue things?
I can't stand it. Yeah, they in a blue and white bottle.
Pediasure things?
Yeah, I tried to drink those when I was pregnant to try to, or like, because I know Nestle Quick ain't good, but like strawberry Nestle Quick is like the only like milk I can drink. Yeah. I hate milk.
So what would you say is your favorite vegan dish? To eat and to cook, I guess. That's the same.
This year when I did do Thanksgiving, I did a vegan Thanksgiving. So, because I think the year before, me and my sister ended up doing it. So this year she's in Spain now. So I did my own, and we did mac and cheese, that's probably my favorite. I don't even like mac and cheese. Like,
is it mac and cheese?
I did a mac and cheese, and that's probably my favorite dish. I did shepherd's pie. Like, we ate good. We were eating for a couple days. Like, I still eat good. It's just not me.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm a breakfast person. So what would you say is the best breakfast vegan dish?
I actually make a Spanish omelet, and it's not actually an omelet. It's vegan, but it's made in Spain. Usually, traditionally in Spain, they make it the same way. Mm-hmm. It's made with potatoes. You slice potatoes and you add chickpea flour to them. And you let it cook, and it makes almost like an omelet. I actually have it on my page as well, where you can see it.
Check all that out.
You could buy, like I said, I make the biscuits. So, and croissants are vegan.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, croissants are vegan. They have vegan sausages. Croissants. I cannot remember that. There's a field roast vegan sausage that's maple. Mm-hmm. I like it. There's another one called Benevolent Bacon. It's at Kroger. That one's really good. But yeah, croissants are vegan.
I done forgot the old stuff already.
Yeah, that's why I be trying to write stuff down as we talk to people because I'm like, man, I gotta remember this. That's crazy.
Hold on. Benevolent
Bacon.
And then what was the burgers?
I like the smart bacon too.
Smart bacon.
I haven't had the smart bacon yet.
If you like turkey bacon, you'll
like it. Okay. Yeah, because I had seen it. It is kind of shaped like the turkey bacon.
I've had smart bacon before. It's good. Yeah. What was the burgers called?
Beyond Burger. Yeah, the Beyond Burger and Beyond Sausage.
So I know you said you want to get your restaurant going and maybe a food truck, stuff like that. So, and how many years from now do you see that becoming reality?
I really would like the food truck probably within the next year and a half. Just because I want to be in the rural areas where people don't know about it and show you that you can still eat pretty much whatever you want.
Yeah. Is that something that you and your sister would collab on, or is it something you want to do?
Well, she's not coming back over here. She's not coming back stateside. She don't want to be in the U.S. So,
okay. Yeah,
she's going to be there. But we are, she does want to, she's a consultant, and she's actually into cannabis. Oh. So she's become she's a cannabis merchant. Well, she doesn't sell cannabis, but she sells merch with it and writes articles about it. I post her a few times on my stories. I'll post stuff that she reposts. She actually just did an article about the new law that they're passing about abortion and about how they've always been trying to control black bodies. Mm-hmm. So our organs are better than our Caucasian counterparts.
That's why they're trying to control us, man.
Exactly. So if we're eating badly, we're damaging our organs. And a lot of people that have died in, police brutality or, I believe his name was Kendrick. I can't remember his last name, but he was found in a rolled up gym mat.
Oh, yeah.
When they went to examine his body, he was missing all his organs.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. They said the same thing with that one girl in the freezer, right?
Yeah.
They said that about her, too.
Yeah. Yep.
That's crazy.
So if you're taking care of your organs, don't be an organ donor, first of all. Don't put that on your license.
I was at one point.
I would never do it.
Yeah, we're not. A lot of things that we do are tied into other things, and as you learn more about what you're eating, you learn more about yourself. As Black people, that's one thing that we're not doing. We're not learning about who we are, where we come from, why we do certain things, and when you learn that, it kind of changes how you think.
Yeah,
that's fact.
Cause y'all done changed my thought process just today. And we finna go eat some vegan.
And I seen in your bio where you said you wanted to talk about how the food you eat affects your body and the world. What do you mean when you say the world?
It affects the world because being vegan costs less to make vegan foods or plant-based things in terms of our earth, like what it does to our earth. It's less. Like, per vegan, I forgot what the statistics were, but it's a lot less land to make food for a vegan than it is for a meat eater. And these things are the reasons why it's hot as hell in February. Mm-hmm. Eating meat is one of the reasons. Like, that's part of is global warming. Like, we're eating too much meat. And doing that is changing our earth. It's changing the requirements. Like, we're destroying forests to make things that, we don't really need. We don't need the meat.
It's a big problem in South America right now. In Brazil, a lot more American farmers. It's cheaper to buy farmland, acres down in South America. So a lot of cattle ranchers are buying huge portions of land, and they're cutting down rainforests to make pastures for cows.
We need
to feed
these
people.
Things. This is how we're breathing.
Instead of plants. And when you cut down rainforests, that affects all of us in the long run. And it's also taking land away from the indigenous, because South America still has the most indigenous people still like living in their ancient ways and stuff. So they're taking away their land. They're taking away animals' land.
They're taking away our sources of living. Like our weather's not supposed to transition the way it does, and we're affecting our ozone and a lot of things by eating meat still. That's why I said even if you can cut out, meat, a certain type of meat, or not 3 days out the week we eat vegan foods. It's helping because we're eating too much.
Yeah. Man, today was an eye opener.
I'm trying
We're
to
vegan
tell
up
you.
here. Cold
to
turkey today.
I was ready for this one. That's what I've been waiting on.
I said it at 11:48.
We quit cold turkey 2 years ago.
June 1st, 11:48. Chelsea went vegan.
Look at this.
Yeah,
save the
planet.
Like you said, even if it's like three days a week,
it's just consuming less. We're requiring less of the farmers, less land. The cows gotta live somewhere. They gotta eat somewhere. They got what they're producing with the cows is they're using a lot of chemicals in it, and it's not good for our earth. Like, I want to live.
A ton of documentaries y'all can watch. Vegetation, What the Hell.
That's the one that got me the first time. What the hell?
I never watched the documentaries, but I'm always a curious person, so I'll do my research. I always look. Like, I had been known about Dr. Sebi.
Oh, yeah.
I just didn't really know about his diet because a lot of things they kept kind of secret, but there's a whole website where you can still order a lot of the things that he had. Like, he treated left eye. For, I believe, herpes. A lot of people are changing it, but she did have some type of imbalance there where he treated her and had the cure. And even, Nipsey Hussle, that's one of the reasons he was trying to turn us on to certain things like that, because he had the ingredients to living better.
Yeah.
But you also got to be careful because he also didn't have the rights for a lot of his stuff, and then he had 2 wives. People don't know when he transitioned it going to his and was developing his diet, he was with his first wife.
Okay.
Then one of the people that he helped, he ended up falling in love with. He divorced his first wife and got with his second wife. And she took over and she was like, we need to start selling this. Because with his first wife, he was giving away his services. He was really out there just trying to heal people because he found out how to heal himself. But his second wife is the one that tried to make it a business. So...
But there's nothing wrong with that.
It's nothing wrong with that.
We undervalue ourselves as black people.
It's not that. It's nothing wrong that's making it with a business. But what happened was after he passed away, other people started taking advantage. They tried to take advantage of his name, saying this is a Dr.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
So you have to make sure where it's coming from. You got to know exactly where it's coming from and get the authentic.
I get that.
Yeah. But I mean, he still has his students. Like, I watched his students. Some of his students were on Breakfast Club talking about some of the things, So I mean, he still has, it going.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Very true.
Well, hey,
I appreciate that.
I do too. I appreciate all the knowledge you dropped on me today. Goodness. Like I said, we're gonna try to put together a vegan event.
I'll definitely have to come back, bring some food, let y'all try it out. I don't want people to see, honest reaction. Yeah. I'm gonna have to find that girl. I need y'all to.
I'm gonna give it to you before you leave.
Yep.
But so you want to shout out your sister out there in Spain?
Yes, her name is Token_Traveler and Token Laws International. She sells like cannabis productive things, and she's also black owned. She's trying to do her thing, so y'all support her, share her stuff, buy some stuff from her, and just support me too. Like something, share something.
I know. Tell them your social medias.
It is L_Lori, L_Lori, and I'm also on Facebook as Darla Lori. So y'all can reach me there. You can call me on Instagram. My contact information is on there, and so is my email.
Because I'm sure I'm going to be calling you like, what you tell me again? Because today I'm vegan. Tomorrow might be a different day, but today is a vegan day. I'm feeling like it today.
Right.
Well, I guess that's it, y'all. And until next time, y'all have tuned into another Straight to the Point podcast, and we are out.